Hello, children. We're back talking about The Matrix. Well, not the first
Yay.
You see, Kevin was supposed to do this review, and we were supposed to have this review out a long time. But you see, and I'm not exaggerating, Kevin has probably the worst internet on the planet right now. So, he has not been able to watch The Matrix Reloaded yet. So, I turned to the next best thing for me. My friend, my good friend, Evan.
What's good?
And I hit him up and I said, you know what? Would you like to review The Matrix Reloaded? And I can tell by the text message that he sent to me that he was very hesitant to say yes. But
I was very hesitant.
I know he said yes because he loves me. So, here we are. Matrix Reloaded. This is the sequel to The Matrix that came out in 2003. Nearly 4 years after The Matrix. Man, can you imagine waiting that long for a sequel to The Matrix? Holy shit. It's like waiting like 10 years for a sequel to like fucking Empire. I don't know. Man. So, Matrix Reloaded. Everyone came back. Keanu came back. Lawrence Fishburne came back. This girl who plays Trinity. Don't know her name for the life of me. She came back. Oracle came back. Agent Smith came back. The Wachowskis came back to direct. This was gonna be epic. This was gonna be great. And The Matrix Reloaded is not very good.
It fell flat on his face very hard.
Now, I view this movie as the Terminator 3. I view this movie as Terminator 3. Now, is this movie as bad as Terminator 3? No. Why? Because this movie doesn't piss me off as much as Terminator 3 pissed me off. See, Terminator 3 is the same as The Matrix Reloaded in the sense that it's a disappointing as fuck sequel to one of the best action movies ever made. First of all, before we even state this, Nintendo, what are your thoughts on The Matrix, good sir? The very first one.
There's the bodega.
I feel like there was a lot of filler in the movie. There was a lot of scenes that were just absolutely unnecessary.
No,
like that.
the first one. The first one, not the second one. The first one.
Oh, the first Matrix. I think it's a classic. I really enjoy it.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it for the first time for the review, and it immediately became one of my favorites. But now, with that said,
it's been one of my favorites for a while.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Terminator 3 pisses me off more than this movie because Terminator 3 had a stupid ass plot, John Connor was terrible, Arnold was terrible, and overall, I just don't like Terminator 3. But Matrix Reloaded is better for certain reasons. But we're not comparing Terminator 3 because honestly, I don't even want to talk about Terminator 3 because I fucking hate that movie. Now, Matrix Reloaded. Do I hate this movie? No, I don't. Do I think it's disappointing as fuck? Yes, I do. Do I think this movie's unnecessary after watching the trilogy? And yes, I've seen Revolutions. That review is coming very soon. Yes. But with that said, I can watch this movie and enjoy it for many things. Evan, your thoughts on Matrix Reloaded?
Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like there's a lot of filler, like especially that one scene where it goes on and on and on, that one dance movie after Morpheus gives the speech. Like, I felt that was completely unnecessary.
Josh, we're doing a review. Mute me.
Alright, yeah, I'll meet you.
Thank you. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That scene after Morpheus gives the speech and then there's like the whole party crap.
Oh my god, we'll talk about that.
It kind of was.
We will talk about that. So
I felt like it was extremely unnecessary.
So we're gonna start out with my shit. I should have told you. Whatever. I'll start out with my positives, and then I'll ask Evan for his positives. So my positive, the biggest positive of this movie, the action. Once again. I mean, not the action. The action, yeah. But the acting from everybody is pretty solid. It's pretty much the same as it was before. It's not really changed. But I thought everyone still did a solid job. I didn't really have issues with anybody. The score is awesome. I don't know if it's the same person that did the score. I would assume so. Why would you get, you know, another person to do the score? But I really like the score. The in-camera action sequences with no CGI are awesome. The beginning of the Agent Smith fight with Neo is awesome. The fight in that room, with all the stuff hanging around is awesome. That's easily the best part of the movie. I love that part of the movie. The new characters are nice additions, especially Link. I really liked Link a lot. I thought he brought a lot of like energy and charisma to the team, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I liked that Link was the brother of Tank and his brother from the first one, those people that got murdered viciously by the guy who was Rogue. Most of the special effects are pretty solid, I will say that. Most. With a capital M-O-S-T. Most. And the ending is a little bit intriguing for the third movie. Evan, your positives of The Matrix Reloaded.
Again, the acting, like you said, is very solid. The action sequences, I really did enjoy. It was one of the things that made The Matrix really interesting for me and everything. It was just fantastic. I just felt like I was entertained the entire way through and I just did not want it to end.
Maybe I can still catch her.
That's really about it.
Oh dear.
If not methodical.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
I'm gonna let you go into your negatives because you sound like you have a lot more negatives than I do. So please, your negatives.
Again, that party sequence, not necessary.
Oh yeah, horrendous.
And just the overall plot at the end, I was just like, why? Just why? It's left me confused. And I have a lot of criticisms with like the end. Like, I would be perfectly fine if Trinity actually had died in that scene, and Neo was supposed to carry on through the third movie, having to deal with that and having to overcome his teams. That would be a lot cooler in my opinion, but I just didn't like the ending.
Anything else?
Here you go, bud.
There's her stakeout gear.
Okay.
What were you?
What else?
Hold on,
There's a lot of scenes in there. There's just like big what the fuck moments.
Okay.
Like that robot scene where Neo is like pausing them and just completely shockwaves everything. It's just like, what the heck?
Oh yeah, well that was supposed to tease the third movie.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Alright.
Well, I'm done with my negatives.
My negatives. Most of the CGI is absolutely fucking horrendous. This is prequel level bad CGI. Oh my god. Where do I fucking start? The scene where the Smiths fight Neo. That scene started so amazing. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. You know, it started all in camera and shit. It was awesome. And then it just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was so bad. It just, so much CGI. So much CGI people. Like, why? Oh my god, like, it was literally just CGI, 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 CGI. It was so bad. This was embarrassing. It was honestly embarrassing. I was not a fan of the CGI on that fight at all. I thought it was so bad. When like the Smiths just like look so animated, and then Neo does like that jump in the air, and I swear to God, it looked like a cutscene from the Matrix video game. It was so bad. I was actually shocked at like how bad the CGI really was. Because they did a good job in the first one, so it's like, okay, why can't you do good now? Like, it just frustrated the shit out of me. Oh, let me gather myself. The story here, it just isn't interesting. The movie, the first movie, when it ended, I said it in my review. I was like, I'm very intrigued as to where this story goes. Because it set up, oh, the Smiths, well, not the Smiths, because he wasn't the Smiths at the time, it was just him, but, you know, they really set up, oh, like, Neo is gonna hunt down the agents and kill them. And I was like, yes, I'm here for that. Take my freaking money. I'm there. But then this movie doesn't go with that story at all. It kind of goes in a different direction. Hand over heart, I can't tell you the plot of this movie. It makes no sense. Neo is trying to find a purpose. And then also Zion is almost being destroyed. They show Zion in this movie. I guess that's a positive. Zion, for the time, looks cool. The CGI isn't all that great on Zion, but, you know, I'll take what I can get considering what CGI we get in this fucking movie. But I feel like the story's just really unfocused. It tries doing too many things at once. You have the whole shit with Zion, then you have the thing with Neo, and it's just like there's probably another plot line in there that I'm missing. That's how much shit is in this movie. And I feel like it's really unfocused. And the whole thing with the Keymaster too.
Where's Felicia?
You know,
Yeah, I was really confused with that.
everything, you know, and you might tell me, oh, you're not paying attention. Dude, I was paying attention. I took notes on if I took notes on the movie, how am I not paying attention?
What's on that drive?
I don't know. It's really hard to follow, and it's not because I don't pay attention, it's just a lot of it just doesn't make any sense. Then you got the thing with the architect. Oh, if you choose this way, you save Zion. If you go this way, you save Trinity. I don't know. The story for me just didn't work. The pacing is really bad. I hate the pacing in this movie. This movie, you know, when you watch the first movie,
No, I'm not gonna think about that.
you're intrigued. You're like, okay, how does this normal person go from this to being Neo? And you know, you're hooked from that first scene where Lawrence Fishburne is talking to Neo and he's telling him, oh, if you take the blue pill, this happens, red pill, you know, you guys know. And you know, you're intrigued through the whole movie because of the twist in the movie. This movie, I will admit, from the first 10 minutes, I was like, yes, I'm here for this. Let's do this. We get a nice little fight sequence in the beginning. I was like, yes, this is what I came for. Let's go. And then the movie just gets so boring. Oh my god, the movie gets so boring. Honestly, the movie just... Oh my god.
Screwball?
I hated the pacing. You know, it picks up again in the action sequences, but that's really all you have to look forward to. The action sequences. There's a lot of them, yeah. But when most of them are filled with shit CGI, how am I supposed to enjoy it?
Tells me those guys weren't released.
Unless it's the next movie that we're talking about. That's a different story. Which I'll get to at the end of this video. But as it stands, yeah, the movie's really boring. No, not that. The romance. Oh my god, the fucking romance.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh my god. This was a negative in the first. This was a negative in my review of the first Matrix. I said the romance for me came out of nowhere, and I was like, you know what? Oh, excuse me. I was like, you know what? Maybe they'll develop it in Matrix Reloaded. They don't. You know how I know they don't? Because this movie takes place literally right after the first one, and they're just making out like they've been together for like years. I honestly hated this. This was honestly annoying. Every time I saw Trinity and Neo together acting like a couple, there was one scene where I found it funny. Well, there was one scene that I genuinely liked them being a couple. It was the scene where Neo had to make out with the girl to get the information on the guy. And
Oh,
Trinity
yeah.
was like,
That
excuse
was
me?
not funny.
That was funny. I will give them that. That was funny. But other than that, I hated this. This was bad. First of all, they have no chemistry. I'm sorry. They have no chemistry at all. At least I don't think. They don't have any chemistry. And on top of that, they never developed that relationship in the first movie at all. In terms of them being a couple.
What are they setting up anyway?
Like, I just don't get it. I really hated it. It's worse in Matrix Revolutions. Speaking of them, they have the worst scene in probably the whole franchise. They had this stupid scene where they like, there's like this rave going on in Zion because like the war's about to happen and they're like one last hurrah. And then it's like cut over, it's interwoven with this sex scene between Neo and Trinity. It goes on for 3 minutes!
I was already to exaggerate it, but that sounds what I was said.
3 minutes! This scene goes on for 3 minutes. It's just literally people party, and then it goes back to Neo and Trinity just having sex. It's not even like a montage, it's like legitimately just them having sex. That is the most embarrassing thing in the whole trilogy. I'm sorry. I hated that scene a lot. I really did. The last 20 minutes of this movie just tries to make a point that honestly isn't clear, and it makes no sense. And it's not in like a Joker way where the Joker movie ending is unclear as to what happened. This movie, the ending just makes no sense. That part with the architect, I don't even know what he was trying to say. What was he trying to say? That like there's different versions of the Matrix and that each outcome is different? Who cares? You have 20 minutes left of a movie and you're introducing this plot line that goes nowhere. Spoiler alert, in Revolutions, it goes nowhere.
I might have found Black Cat's next target.
So what was the point? Oh, it's all about choice. Based on what happens in Revolutions, the choice didn't fucking matter.
Don't let her play you again.
Yeah, I'll be on guard.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
I don't know.
The choice didn't matter.
Seems to bring bad luck wherever she goes.
Black Cat brings bad luck.
Finally, my last negative. The action in this movie, while mostly really good, feels like it has no emotional weight. The action sequences kind of just happen. And yes, they're nice to look at. It's exactly, honestly, it's the equivalent of Birds of Prey. The action is nice to look at, and it's well shot for the most part, but it has no emotional weight, because you don't give a shit about anything that's going on. Speaking of the action, the highway chase, probably the most talked about scene in this movie other than the Smiths fight. People really enjoyed this scene. I don't know why. I really didn't like this scene. I really didn't.
I kind of felt those.
The chase was
points.
Yeah, the chase was
like,
fine, but the CGI on those demon things was awful. Awful. The CGI in the Ghostbusters movie in 1980 was better than that.
Yeah.
The CGI on Slimer in the original Ghostbusters was better than that.
Oof.
And then you have these weird moments of CGI in that fight. Again, I'm not a fan. I'm not. The Smith fight, it starts out amazing and ends up in mediocrity. The stairway fight is the best part. That is a legitimately great action sequence. But again, it has no emotional weight. You look at most of the action sequences in the first movie, they all had emotional weight. You cared about Neo. Cared about Trinity a little bit. That's what this movie's missing, emotional weight. And since the story is not investing, there is no emotional weight. Those are my final thoughts on Matrix Reloaded. Again, do I hate this movie? No. Do I have a lot of issues with it? Yes. Is it watchable? Yes. But is it disappointing as fuck as a sequel to one of the greatest action movies of all time? Yes, 110%. that's gonna do it for this review of The Matrix Reloaded. I don't really want to talk about this movie anymore because it's just disappointing in the least. Evan, thank you so much for the backup plan and sacrificing your soul to watch Matrix Reloaded again. Now I have a big announcement. Hold your horses. Now, Kevin is having internet issues. But when he fixes his internet, or gets his new router, which is supposedly Friday, I am here to announce that we are upcoming on the 50th episode of Mind of a Random Podcast. And I was thinking, should I review Stop Pilgrim, Baby Driver, Scream, you know, one of my favorite movies of all time. And then my good friend Miguel, who, if you're listening, thank you for this, threw out the thought, why don't you review a really bad movie? Like, a really bad movie. And I was like, what's a really, really bad movie involving a black, suited, outfitted superhero that came out in 1995? That probably should have ruined my childhood. Yes, children, your ears do not deceive you. We will be doing a review of Batman and Robin for the 50th episode. Now, that is one of the announcements. The second announcement is that we will be doing a live watch party for Batman and Robin. I will be live streaming it on the channel here. Obviously, I can't show you guys the film because, you know, copyright strike galore. But you will be watching it. I will have the timestamps in the chat. You're gonna watch me react to it, and you're gonna hear Kevin react to it, who has never seen Batman and Robin ever. And then the next day, probably, we will review Batman and Robin on this channel. Why am I doing this? Because I love you guys. So, if you guys want to participate in the live stream, try to figure out a way to watch the movie and just sync up with us. You know, I'm gonna be having the timestamps up in the chat, you know, consistently. And, you know, if this works out, I want to do more stuff like this. You know, interacting with you guys. So, again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys pop out for the live stream. It's gonna be fun as hell. And thank you so much, and stay safe, and look out for the Batman and Robin shit and Matrix Revolution soon. Thank you so much. Stay safe in quarantine. Later.